Hello everyone. Let's try straight into integrating AI builder models into cloud flows. The formal definition of AI builder integration is the process of embedding pre-built or custom machine learning models directly into your automated workflows to extract data, predict outcomes, and process unstructured information. In plain everyday English, it is like giving your automated assistant a brain and a pair of eyes. You see, standard automation is great at moving data from point A to point B, but it's a bit robotic. It doesn't understand what it's looking at. By adding AI Builder, your flow can actually read a document, recognize a face, or sense if a customer is happy or sad. Imagine you are running a local real estate office. You get hundreds of emails every day. Normally, you'd have to open every single one to see if it's a new inquiry or just spam. With AI Builder in your flow, the assistant reads the email for you and says, "Aha, this person wants to buy a house," and puts it in the right folder. Stay with me here because we are moving from simple tasks to smart decisions. You've probably seen this at the office where people spend half their day just sorting through paperwork. We are going to automate that thinking process. Let's break this down together. We are making our flows thinkers. So now that we've mastered the idea that our flows can have a brain, you might be wondering how we handle those piles of paper invoices that usually require a human to type them in. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is document processing and data extraction. This brings us to document processing. The technical documentation explains this as an AI model that uses optical character recognition to identify and extract key value pairs and table data from structured or unstructured documents like invoices and receipts. To speak naturally, it is the digital office assistant. It doesn't just see a picture of a page, it knows exactly where the total amount and the due date are hiding. Imagine a dummy example of a busy construction company. Every day, 50 different truck drivers drop off paper receipts for gravel and fuel. Usually, a poor soul in accounting has to type those numbers into a spreadsheet. But with AI Builder, you just tell the flow. When a photo of a receipt arrives, read the total and the vendor name. The AI does the typing for you. You've probably noticed at the office how much work goes into data entry. This model is the cure for that. Let's break this down together. We are turning images into useful numbers. So now that we've mastered how to pull numbers off a page, you might be wondering how our flow can understand the feelings behind the words people write to us. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is sentiment analysis and understanding tone. Now we need to talk about sentiment analysis. The formal definition says this is a natural language processing model that analyzes a string of text to determine if the underlying emotional tone is positive, negative, neutral, or mixed. In simple everyday English, it's reading the room. The AI looks at the words and tells you if the person is smiling or frowning while they type. Think about a dummy example of a hotel manager. You have a feedback form on your website. If a guest writes, "The room was beautiful, but the breakfast was terrible," the AI Builder model looks at that and flags it as mixed. It can even send a negative sentiment alert directly to the manager's phone so they can fix the problem before the guest even checks out. Stay with me here because this is how we build empathy into our automation. You've probably seen this at the office when a customer gets angrier and angrier because nobody is listening. Sentiment analysis makes sure the angry voices get heard first. Let's break this down together. We are giving our assistant emotional intelligence. So, now that we've mastered how to sense the mood of a message, you might be wondering how the flow can actually spot specific things in a photo, like a broken window or a specific product on a shelf. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is object detection and visual insights. This brings us to object detection. The technical documentation defines this as a computer vision model that identifies and locates specific items within an image, providing a count and a location for each recognized object. In plain language, it is the digital spotter. You teach the AI what something looks like and then it can find it anywhere. Imagine a dummy example. You are a safety inspector for a large warehouse. You want to make sure everyone is wearing their yellow safety vest. Instead of walking 10 miles a day, you have a flow that looks at the security camera photos every hour. The AI builder model counts the number of yellow vests it sees. If it sees a person without a vest, it sends a notification to the supervisor. You've probably seen this at the office during inventory time when everyone is counting boxes by hand. Object detection turns that into a 1-second job. Let's break this down together. We are using the eyes of the AI to monitor the physical world. So now that we've mastered how to count and see objects through our flow, you might be wondering how to handle those times when the AI isn't 100% sure about what it saw. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is confidence scores and human in the loop. Let's dive into confidence scores. The formal definition describes the probability score, usually between 0 and 1, that an AI model returns to indicate how certain it is that its prediction or extraction is accurate. To put it very simply, it is the certainty meter. The AI is honest. It will tell you, I'm 95% sure this is an invoice, or I'm only 40% sure this is a dog. In an intelligent flow, we use this to be safe. Imagine a dummy example. You are automating bank transfers. If the AI reads a check and says it's 99% sure the amount is $1,000, the flow just processes it. But if the check is blurry and the AI says it's only 60% sure, you set the flow to stop and send a message to a human to double check. Stay with me here because this is how we prevent expensive mistakes. You've probably noticed at the office how some people just guess when they aren't sure. Our AI is smarter because it knows exactly when to ask for help. Let's break this down together. We are building trustworthy automation. So now that we have mastered how to check the AI's math and certainty, you might be wondering how we can use all this smart data to actually predict what will happen next week or next month. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is prediction models and forecasting trends. Finally, we reach prediction models. This area involves using historical data to train a model that can forecast future outcomes, such as whether a customer will renew a subscription or if a machine is likely to break down. In our relaxed classroom tone, it simply means the digital crystal ball. We look at the past to guess the future. Imagine a dummy example of a local gym. You have a flow that runs every Monday. It looks at how many times each member visited last month. The AI builder prediction model says, aha, this person hasn't visited in 3 weeks. There is an 80% chance they will cancel their membership. The flow then automatically sends them a "We miss you" discount coupon to keep them from leaving. In my 25 years, I've seen that being proactive is the secret to a great business. You've probably noticed at the office how we are always reacting to problems after they happen. Prediction models let us solve the problem before it even starts. Let's break this down together. As builders, we are creating flows that are forward-looking. We've looked at giving the flow a brain, reading documents, sensing moods, counting objects, checking the certainty meter, and finally looking into the crystal ball. We've mastered integrating AI builder models into cloud flows. You now know how to make your automation truly brilliant. Well, that brings us right into our next chapter.